Okay, so I know what you're thinking. Yeah, I just got out of bed, and I haven't done anything to my hair, or anything, or whatever. This is how it is nowadays. It's summer, the days roll together, and quite frankly, the movies roll together, and that's one of the reasons why it's been such a long time since I've uploaded, because, my goodness, I'm talking about Jurassic World Dominion, and it came out like a month ago. I think, if anything, this channel is not current. I mean, I try to be kind of current just because those are the movies in my head right now. Because if I were to do like an anthology, like talk about an old movie that I really like, I would want to script it a bit more, and oh my goodness, I just woke up. So, I don't do that, and so I do the new movies not because that's what everyone wants to hear about, but because that's what I'm doing. And I guess if you really want to know the other reason that I haven't uploaded in it's like been months and months and months, it's been a long time, is because I've sort of been caught in a rut. I've been working sort of on and off on a couple things, but for the most part it's just been stuff that has been really labor intensive. Not really labor intensive. None of this that I do is labor intensive. Kind of like my last Batman video where I, structured it and I wanted to actually say something interesting and good. And, excuse me, for some reason that's been hard to, that's been hard to, just accomplish and, follow through on. So, I'm just going to do another one of these long ranty reviews, just to get that out there, and give the people what they want. Yeah, so anyway, Jurassic World Dominion. And I'll start by talking about a little bit about my experiences with all the Jurassic movies. I have seen all of them, yes indeed I have. The first one holds a very special place in my heart. I love it so much. It's my favorite Steven Spielberg movie. I enjoy coming back to it all the time. It's one of the first Spielberg movies I saw. I watched it with my dad. We own a VHS copy of it. I love VHS copies of old movies. It just gives it some sort of classic feel. So there's a lot of elements that make me really like and enjoy and have a deep love for the original Jurassic Park. Now, my buddy, this fabled buddy who you have heard a lot about because I usually go and see movies with him, he is more of a fan of just I think he likes dinosaurs because he is a fan of just the Jurassic saga. Way back in the day, I think I had only ever seen the first one like once, if at all, but we were talking and the Jurassic Park movies came up and he said, "Hey, those movies are really good. You should come over sometime and we could watch that." Well, years and years and years passed, and it was a summer that I wasn't doing anything, and he wasn't really doing anything, which is not this summer, and that's another reason why I haven't uploaded. Please forgive me. But so I said to him, "Hey, you want to watch? Do you want me to come over and we can watch Jurassic Park 2, Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic Park 4, also called Jurassic World, and Jurassic World 2? Do you want to watch 4 movies in a row, my friend?" And he said, "Yes, I do." So that's what we did. And quick review Jurassic World 2, or not Jurassic World 2. Well, let's start from the end and go backwards. Jurassic World 2, by that point, I was so sick and tired of looking at dinosaurs and hearing dinosaurs, and I was just so sick and tired of everything about that movie in particular as well, that I was so ready to be done. And it was kind of an exhausting experience. Jurassic World, I don't know, I didn't really feel too much for it. It was competent, it was fine, it was definitely better than a lot of the other movies. It was okay. Again, it was the third movie that we watched that day. So I think to its credit, it did not offend me. So that's good enough. Jurassic Park 3, I actually quite enjoyed because it was stripped back. It's very simple. I mean, it was stupid in a way, but like not as stupid as a lot of the other stuff. And I mean, it was stupid in a silly way. So I actually, my hot take from this video, because there won't be any other hot takes, believe me, because we all know that Jurassic World Dominion is bad, so we'll get to that eventually. But my hot take about this franchise is that I quite like Jurassic Park 3. I mean, it's dumb, but I still like it, and I think it's a fun time. Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World, on the other hand, I hate everything about it. And I think one of the reasons I hate everything about it is because Steven Spielberg directed it. And it's a follow-up to one of my favorite movies of all time. And it's just it's a complete mess. I mean, at least with Jurassic Park 3, like, it's simple, even if it is silly, you know, and the plot runs together pretty smoothly. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I felt. Whereas with Jurassic Park 2, it started off alright, you know, with Jeff Goldblum's Ian Malcolm getting recruited by John Hammond to sort of clean up the mess or whatever. But, oh my goodness, it just flies completely off the handle. I mean, there's some interesting dinosaur stuff here and there, but people are just stupid. I mean, they always are. But I feel like in this one especially, the opening sequence isn't that great. It was more funny than anything with the sequence with like the little dinosaurs eating the kid. I know that's really bad to say it was funny, but like just the way it was shot and edited and everything. Like not the actual subject matter. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole lot of funny things that shouldn't be funny in this franchise just because it's by and large very silly. Yeah, I really, okay, the biggest offender of Jurassic Park 2 is the T-Rex scene at the end. Sure, it looks cool, but everything about it is dumb. It makes the movie longer. I hated that. It makes zero no sense whatsoever. I don't mind that so much, but I mean, it doesn't make sense. And it's just stupid. It's another movie, it's a little short film tacked on to this other film, which the film before it was mediocre at best. This film actually has some promise. I mean, a T-Rex in San Francisco, that's pretty cool. I like that. But that's really a sign that your movie is bad when you throw a bunch of elements together, disconnected elements, and say that it's all one movie, even though it is clearly not. Oh, okay. The scene where the two, T-Rexes, I think they are like accosting the big trailer, and the trailer like falls down. Okay, I will give it to him. That's a really cool scene. But unfortunately, it is based on the premise that they have taken a baby T-Rex and are trying to fix him up. Okay. Now that I've told you all about my history with Jurassic Park, I was like, I don't really ever want to watch any of the sequels ever again after that day, because my goodness, we shotgunned 4 movies in a day. 4 movies in a day is bad enough. 4 Jurassic Park movies in a day, that's overload. Oh boy. Jurassic World Dominion. I felt I owed it to my friend to watch it with him. Plus, I love going to the theater, downing a whole bunch of popcorn, drinking a whole lot of pop, and just, sort of, just hanging out. I quite enjoy that. As I have proved it on this channel, I don't hate bad things all the time. I enjoyed Uncharted, partially because it was a great theater experience and it did not offend me, and I can't say that this movie offended me. Because, goodness gracious, what did I expect? But also, it was nothing. And it really stinks because they did new things, but the new things were stupid. They brought in the legacy characters, those sainted 3 from the original movie. You love Sam Neill as Dr. Grant. You love Ellie Sattler, who is played by... I can't remember. Look, I'm not an encyclopedia. Once again, I've not looked anything up. Laura Dern. I am an encyclopedia. You loved Ian Malcolm Jeff Goldblum. You loved him so much that you just saw him in the last movie, but he was only in it for 15 seconds. Ha ha ha. But in this movie, he's in it for so much longer. Oh boy. Oh, and you loved the characters that nobody likes from this new trilogy. Christopher Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, oh yes. And you especially love that annoying British girl who is a clone but also isn't a clone, but also is maybe a clone but was born but wasn't born normally. You like that girl. Does her story make sense? Spoiler alert, it doesn't make any sense. Maybe it makes some techno-science-o-babble sense like everything in this movie does. But on a story level, purely on a story level, not even on like a theming level or like a deeper meaning level or anything that makes a movie compelling level, purely on a plot level, none of this makes any sense with the whole girl being a clone. Because the movie starts with her being like, oh, I'm a clone and I'm not like anyone else and I can't do anything because people are searching for me because I'm a clone. And she's like the teenager who doesn't want to be tied down, and now, look, trilogies always, especially bad ones, always sort of shift the roles of their main characters because they're blank slates anyway. You can do whatever you want with them. But for Chris Pratt, Owen Grady, and Bryce Dallas Howard's... I can't remember her name. Claire! Oh my gosh, I remembered her name. I am an encyclopedia. For Claire, they've just sort of... They're like, mom and dad. Which, I don't know. I kind of like that. And it was a good dynamic, I thought. Especially for the aging Chris Pratt. Oh man, he's so old, he's 43. Oh. Good luck finding work, Chris Pratt, you're 43 now. But the whole family dynamic there, it was just so... It was annoying. And to be fair, of the 2 plot lines in this movie, the other one being the one with the OG characters, I enjoyed the one with the new characters more, surprisingly. I think this movie did something that the others have not yet done, which is literally doing a James Bond, Jason Bourne action movie with dinosaurs. Which, you know what? I'm on board for. I'm on board for one of the central tenets of this movie, which is Owen Grady driving his motorcycle through a city. I can't remember which city. Literally, it does not matter. and the dinosaurs are chasing him, and the dinosaur jumps through a window, and Claire has to evade the dinosaur in the house, and she's like running, and it's a whole chase scene, and then they have to escape on a plane with this woman who has one shred of character motivation, which, you know what, in an action movie is better than most characters. But also, it was really funny at the end of that whole sequence, which again was my favorite sequence in the movie. Look, I'm stupid. Every critic in the world is going to be like, this guy is the dumbest man, but you know what, I like what I like. Come at me, I just got out of bed, and my hair is an absolute bird's nest. So anyway, the girl with the knife and the plane, that is her character, and she says to them, when she lets them ride on her plane, she says, "Do you want to find your daughter or not? Do you want to get to the place where your daughter is or not?" And I said to my friend, I leaned over and I said something very clever. I said, "Yeah, that's what the screenwriter said to the producers, who were like, wait a second, why would she help them?" And the screenwriter said, "Do you want them to get to the new Jurassic Park or not?" "Yeah, there's a new Jurassic Park in this one. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy." It's actually pretty cool. It's got a cool aesthetic. It's up in the mountains, and it's more of a conservation thing than it is anything else, which again, new! It's new, everybody, but at the same time, it's not really new because we've had dinosaurs running wild in 3 out of 5 of these movies already, and only in 2 of them has there been an actual park. This is sort of a middle ground. It's a controlled park, but it's actually, oh my word, it's bad. And the guy who is like the Steve Jobs CEO of it all is supposed to be Dodson from the original movie. You know, the guy with the Hawaiian shirt who says, "Don't say my name," and then Ned Landry's like, "Hey Dodson, we got Dodson here." So nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares that it's Dodson. Oh my goodness, that was low-hanging fruit. Oh my word, I'm sure every person on the internet has already said that. So, here we go. But I thought of it myself. I didn't see it on the internet. I thought of it myself. So technically, it's an original thought. You're getting original content here, people. The best. Alright, let's keep talking about Jurassic World Dominion. Yeah, that whole complex and the whole... Oh my gosh. So, it's the plot about the bugs. The bugs were interesting in as much as they were big bugs. And the big bugs were eating crops. But my goodness, it was very... It was just so obvious from the beginning what was happening. Like, what? And I can't remember why Laura Dern's Ellie Sattler went out to find Alan Grant. But, I mean, to be fair, it was just so they could get back together. And that weird, like, oh man, we didn't make it back in Jurassic Park 2. And that was a bold narrative choice, especially for that crap movie, to have us broken apart. Oh my goodness, but we want back together, man. We do. We want back together because that's what the people want. And that's what happens. So, okay, to be fair, the interaction between the 3 leads was quite good. At least when Jeff Goldblum got there, it really all sort of, you know, it all got better. Again, it was just kind of, you know, the awkward sort of like, oh hey, with the 2, Laura Dern and Sam Neill, Alan Grant, and them. It was, oh well. I'm just mad because those 3 characters were actually pretty great in the original movie, and in this one, they're just there, man. Like, they're okay in this one, but they're just okay. You resurrected their intellectual property corpses and stuck them in this movie just so you could. And what ends up happening is there are so many people There are so many people in this movie. And of course they all come together at the end because that's what you do in an ensemble movie that has multiple plot lines. But by the time they come together, like, they're a big pile of nothing. And, oh my word, of the sequence with the big new monster, which I can't remember the name of, who even cares? But also, like, the Wolverine dinosaur, which everyone's calling him that, but I thought of it in the theater, so it's an original thought. The Wolverine dinosaur with the big claws, and then of course, our dear, good savior, the T-Rex from the original movie. He will not die. He will keep coming back. He is the immortal being of goodness, truth, and light of these movies. And the three of them duke it out at the end. That whole sequence where they're getting chased and everything, number one, it's lit very oddly, I thought. I don't know why I thought that, but my gosh, it's like orange. It's all orange. It's just, the whole end is orange, because of course it is, because everything's on fire. Because of course everything's on fire, because that's drama. This movie's so dramatic. Everything about it is original. Everything about it is cool. Everything about it is okay, well, the scene where Bryce Dallas Howard sort of like goes through the muck. The one problem with that is the shot looked very odd. Go back and watch it for real. That shot where it's like panning over the water, it looks odd. But other than that, I like that she was like descending into the water, like have to be quiet, have to, that was a good bit of tension. And in that final scene that I was referring to earlier, this is all out of whack. If you're making sense of this, good on you. That final scene where they're all getting chased, one big offender was the Jurassic Park logo shot. And I saw that in the trailers, and I said, dear goodness me, please let that just be promotional footage, because that made me cringe so much. And then it was in the actual movie. And my friend turned to me and he was like, did you see that? Did you see that they did the logo? Look at that! Look at that! And I just said, oh my goodness, I am done. I am done with these movies, and I am glad to be done with these movies. Oh my goodness. The whole time during the movie, because my goodness, it's a mess. It was more of a mess than this review is a mess. Just, tiny bits of original ideas, tiny bits of motivation, all swirling together to create content. Oh, it's just content now. Also, there are so many characters. There's like the good guy who like shows them around at the plant, and there's the other good girl with the plane, and B.D. Wong is in this again, and he's penitent now. Was he penitent in the last movie? I cannot remember, so I guess it's fine that his character is the way it is, because I can't remember what he's like. Who even cares? You know what? It's fine. The main villain guy, he gets killed in an interesting fashion. It was at the very least a bit tense, even if it was just a regular, like, lights blinking on and off. That's what's happening. You really, like, that's every horror movie ever. Lights blinking on and off. But it was cool that he was, like, crawling out of the pod that he was in to try and escape. And then he tries to crawl back in and everything, but then they're there. Like, it was basically just Ned Landry's death from the original, just a little bit more stylized, and that's literally what I thought in the theater. I was like, that's just Ned Landry again. Because, I mean, it's the same dinosaurs. But it's just a little more stylized, which, good on them. I think that scene rather worked. There's a lot of like little like sequences and stuff that I quite enjoyed, But the movie overall was just a drag. If you watch this movie, you'll want it to end. Because it's just a bunch of lackluster action sequences that, while entertaining, are nothing special. Oh, I also do like that part where she's going up the ladder. And you know how ladders have like that... I mean, if you've seen the movie, you might know what I'm talking about. But you know how ladders have like those cages around them sometimes? And the dinosaur chomps down on the cage, and you can see the teeth almost hit her. I really like that. Like, I was like, this is by far my favorite thing in this movie. Oh, well, alright. But then, you know, it all goes downhill with the three-part fight between Wolverine, Dinosaur, OG T-Rex, and the other big, bad monster. And the fight even isn't that good. It's just like the same thing from Jurassic World, where the two dinosaurs fight. Oh wow. Yep. You get the whole movie. It's just the girl who is a clone gets captured. They have to go find her. There are bugs. The OG characters have to find out what the heck the deal is with the bugs. And yeah, there's some interesting stuff along the way. But my goodness, this is just nothing. This movie is nothing. And, you know, the last couple movies have been nothing too, so, again, I wasn't expecting anything better. But, yeah. Also, the opening sequence really is a telltale sign for what the rest of the movie is going to be like. It's Claire saving a dinosaur from a dinosaur thing, which, I mean, part of the central conceit that, like, dinosaurs are out in the world now, like, part of that was interesting, but also, from what they set up from the last movie, that dinosaurs and other things from now living together. Whoa. How they set that up, they really didn't capitalize on it, which is such a big pattern in blockbusters nowadays, where they set up something and you're like, this might be interesting, but of course it is not. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, I'm looking at you. Oh my word. Yeah, the opening sequence, they're saving a dinosaur, and it's not interesting. It's an action sequence that isn't interesting. And I was like, look, I'm not giving up yet, but my gosh, this is going to be a struggle. Oh boy, and yep, Jurassic World Dominion, it's a struggle. It was fine, maybe, but don't, unless you're a big fan of Jurassic Park movies, and you can get behind a James Bond-esque action sequence with dinosaurs, then there is nothing for you here. Nothing. Nothing. Oh yes! Oh my goodness.